So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining our first installment of the Entytle Training Series. Appreciate you joining here. So today is really about analyzing your install base and digging into that to target the customers that you're looking for. So really the objective here today is mine your install base data to uncover customers that you want to target based on either what they have been doing, what they haven't been doing, and really segment these customers to be able to reach out to them with a specific offering based on, the reason that you segmented out these customers to begin with. So I'll get into a number of different use cases around this. There's, of course, a ton of different ways that you can slice and dice your install base to target the customers that you're looking for. And I'm going to cover kind of three of our most commonly used buckets of customer segmentation, starting with drifting customers. This is going to be how to look for customers that, were previously purchasing from you, but haven't been buying recently. This is also going to include customers who may have been purchasing a lot from you historically, but they currently aren't purchasing from you or haven't purchased in a time period. So trying to re-engage those customers. We're also going to cover things like contract expirations, customers who are coming out of a warranty period with you, or maybe have a service contract expiring, which are going to be good opportunities to target those customers with those offerings for extensions of contracts. We're also going to talk about equipment-based segmentation here. So looking for customers who have equipment that maybe would indicate that they're due for some sort of annual preventive maintenance, or maybe it's a 5-year maintenance that needs to take place. So how to look for those customers. Looking for customers who own equipment but haven't purchased particular parts will be another one that we'll go through. And then lastly, we'll go through customers who own equipment but haven't been purchasing services from you so that you can target those customers. So like I mentioned, there is a lot of different ways that you can segment out your install base to target your customers. These are just a few examples, but I'll go through kind of the tips and tricks and best practices of how you can use the install-based filters to not only identify these types of customers, but also you'll be able to use this for your specific use cases as well. So with that, I'm going to jump over to Entytle here and actually go through the demo on how you can utilize these use cases and use the install-based filters to find the customers that you're looking for. So the first thing here is I'm using our demo environment. So of course, this is going to be slightly different than your actual Insights environment. And there might be a little bit different naming and things that you're used to instead of what you're seeing here in the demo environment. So the first thing is to use the install base filters is to go over to the install base tab here. So once I select that, now I'm seeing the install base tab and I have access to all of the different filters here that are inside of Entytle. What you're going to notice if you're following along with this or just from looking at your environment as well is the filters that I'm seeing here are different than what you have on your screen. So in order to access these filters and be able to segment the install base by those, what you're going to start with is adding filters to your filter set here. So what you'll see is there's a plus minus filter icon here. And what you can do is click on that and either add or remove filters to your filter set here. So the ones at the top, those are the ones that are displaying on my quick filters here. And if I want to add additional ones, I can just go down here to select those. So if I wanted to add, for example, a territory filter to be able to utilize that, I can select that, and that's going to move it now to my quick filters where I can add that filter in as I'm going through creating the different segmentations here. You can also remove ones that are not relevant by selecting that, and that's going to remove that from your quick filter icons here. So that's how you can add in your additional filters as far as which ones you have enabled here to use. From a visibility perspective, right now I'm looking at the location view within the map. You can also toggle to the equipment view, which is going to show now all of the equipment and the counts of those. And then you can also toggle back and forth between a map view and a list view. So there's multiple viewing options depending on how you want to see the results of your filters. And as we go through the filters here, you'll see that the equipment and locations update, so you can see the counts if you have no customers matching that, or how many customers you have matching that filter criteria. So that's the general setup on how to use the install-based filters and get them set up here so that you can access them and the different ways you can view it. So now I'm going to jump into actually how you apply these filters and what are the different use cases for the different filters here. So going to my first one here, which is going to be around drifting customers. So to get that set up, you'll need a couple different filters here. One being the last transaction, and then I'm also going to use the 5-year parts revenue for our second use case here as well. And then, of course, you can put together any combination of filters. So if you want to add in things like equipment or territory, all of those can be added in any combination as well. But for this one, I'm going to start with the transaction dates. So this is where, as a sales rep or maybe as an aftermarket salesperson, you want to come in here and look for customers that were previously purchasing from you, but haven't purchased recently or haven't transacted after a certain date. So what you can do is come in here and look at last transaction. And if I want to find everybody who hasn't transacted with me since last year, I can look for those customers with the last transaction before April of 2023. And what you'll see as I do that, as the install base will update, and then you'll have a list of customers that match this criteria who haven't transacted with you after a date. If you want to look for customers who maybe transacted between particular dates, you can do that as well. So maybe you want to look for customers whose last transaction was between April 2022 to April 2023, meaning that they transacted in the previous year, but not in the last year. You can see those customers here as well. So again, this is going to update to show all those customers who were buying from you but haven't purchased in the last year. You can also then use this to look at customers who might have been previously purchasing a significant amount from you in terms of parts and services revenue, but they haven't purchased much from you within the recent history using, again, that last transaction date. You can also add in another filter here around revenue. So I'll just put in here as an example of 10,000 in revenue. And what that's going to show then is all the customers who have been purchasing over 10,000, but less than the 655,000 here, and then haven't transacted with you recently. So this is a good indication of, these customers have fallen off from purchasing and haven't been purchased from a while, but were purchasing a significant amount of revenue from you previously. You can, again, tie in different filters here as well if you want to add in something around the equipment that this customer owns, the number of equipment. All those types of filters can be added in here, but this is a great spot to start if you're trying to really re-engage an install base that was purchasing a lot, but now has not been purchasing from you for whatever reason. So once you're done with this filtering here, what you can do is a number of different things. So the first one I'll show you here is the saving filter function. So on the right-hand side, you can go ahead and save this filter. All you need to do is give it a name here. So I could put in drifting customers and then save that. And that's going to be available in your quick filters where you can then now select on that. And that's going to pull up this customer list with these filters in place here so that you can come back to it. Now to move on to our next use case, what I can do is go ahead and just clear all, and that's going to reset my filters here so that I'll be able to see the entire install base and start over with a new filter set. So the next one I'm going to look at is contract expiration. So there's two different types I'm going to look at here, one being the warranty and one being the service contracts. So this is where you can look for your customers who might be coming out of warranty, recently came out of warranty, and maybe you want to target them with information about your service offerings or convert them to a service contract. So what I can do here is, again, I'll need my warranty status filter. So if you don't have that, that can be added from the plus minus filter icon here. And then what you need to do is just select on this and input the information for the dates again that you want to target. So if you want to look for customers that maybe already have warranties that expired, you can put in here that they are not currently under a warranty and that they expired. You can do a between date here, and I'll say 2023 to April 2024. So looking for the last year of expirations. And that's going to pull up then all of the customers in your install base here that were under a warranty. They are not currently, and that's now expiring within the past year. You can also do things like customers who are under a warranty and then they're coming up for expiration in the next 6 months. And then you can generate that list to see those customers within your install base to target them as well. Again, you can apply additional filters here as well. So if you want to tie this with particular equipment that you want to know that's coming out of warranty, you can select that in your equipment category here. If you want to look by different industry segments, you can also add that in here as well. Maybe there's customers who are more likely to get onto a service contract in a particular industry, so you can layer in those filters as well. Now, another example of what you can do with this information once you go ahead and create this list is to actually then export this information. So if you want, and your business enables this, you are able to download this information. So if I want to have all 375 locations and the warranties that are coming up for expiration, I can download this information and have this list to use as well. Now, this is similar for the service contracts that are coming up for renewal. So again, you can go to your service contracts filter and you can look at customers who are either under a service contract and they have those service contracts coming up for expiration, or again, you can also look for customers that are not under a service contract and that are expiring or that have expired in the last year. And again, you can apply that filter and that's going to show you all of the locations who match that criteria. So if you want to get ahead and reach out to them about a renewal or maybe re-engage customers who previously had a service contract but don't currently, you can target those customers. And then you can also look for customers who never purchased a service contract. And again, this can be tied in with different filters here, like the equipment filter, if you want to target customers based on what equipment they own and the service contracts that are expiring. So I'm going to jump over here now to our next use case and also show another step that can be done with these once you create them. So I'm going to go back here to clear all. And now I'm going to get into more equipment-based filtering that you can do here. So again, if you don't have the equipment item category one, you'll need to add that here. But this is really a starting point for a lot of the different equipment-based filtering that you can do. So I'm going to start off with here selecting two of the categories. So we have the Aquamate 10 and the Aquamate 20. And what is going to happen here is now the entire install base is going to update with all of the customers who own one equipment from those categories or equipment from both of those categories in here. Now I can see the install base for those customers. And I can tie in additional filtering here again. So what a lot of our customers like to look for is customers who maybe own older equipment because there's a retrofit or a modification that needs to take place, or maybe there's some sort of preventive maintenance that needs to take place after 5 years. So you can utilize the install base filters to find all the customers who match that criteria again. So this is where now I can layer in a second filter, which is the equipment age. And what that's going to show now is all my customers who own this equipment and have that equipment that's between 5 to 17 years. I can also adjust this because maybe there's a time frame within the install base where there were certain parts on that equipment that need to be upgraded that were in that time frame. So now I can target all of those customers who have that equipment within that age range as well. So you can, again, tie in additional filters here as well. So if you want to look for customers by a particular industry segment, because there's a modification that's common across that segment, you can layer in those types of filters here as well. So one other thing then that you can go ahead and do once you actually create your install base filters here is now create this into a pipeline. So you can come over here to the three dots and go ahead and create a pipeline from this. And what that's going to do is create a lead for all of the customers that you've created this segmentation for. So this then can be used as part of your daily activities to go in here, look at the pipeline of customers who you want to target for, those upgrades or modifications, and utilize, the tracking in here to target these customers based on that lead that's been generated. So we'll have this in a future session about creating pipelines through more advanced filtering, as well as how to utilize the leads that you generate as well. So that's going to be in the future in our training series here of events. So I'm going to jump into one more use case here. So I'm going to clear all of my filtering here. And this is now where we can get into a little bit more advanced filtering. So in addition to just being able to look for what customers have purchased, you can also layer in things like what customers have not purchased. So thinking back to kind of the modification, the upgrade opportunities, what you can do is look for customers who, again, starting with equipment, have that equipment, and then have not purchased particular parts or kits. So within the advanced search icon here, I can select on that, come into parts, and now look for customers who have not purchased a part. So if I want to look for customers who, let's just say, haven't purchased lamps, then I'm going to find all the customers who own that equipment and have not purchased this part. So this can, again, be used in combination with things like the equipment age. So to find customers who haven't purchased that retrofit kit, or maybe find customers who, haven't purchased a commonly replaced parts or haven't been purchasing consumables from you because maybe they're purchasing those from a third party. This is a really good way to kind of look and identify all the customers who aren't purchasing those parts from you, but could be purchasing those. So you can use this across things like services as well. So if you want to find a customer who hasn't purchased preventive maintenance from you, or maybe hasn't purchased training, you can, again, locate all those customers who own that equipment and haven't made that purchase. So tying in things here for the did not purchase those items as well. The one thing that I'll also add here as you're using these filters is you can do things like equals, not equals, contains, does not contain, start with, to really get to, again, the filtering that you're looking for. So if you have like a model of equipment that starts with ABC, and then there's different variations of numbers that come after those, you can use a starts with filter to locate all those customers who own that equipment in that product family or product line, to be able to segment all of those customers out here. All right, so just to do a quick recap, as you get in here, you can add in different filters here through the plus or minus, so you can see all the different filters. You can then apply these filters in any combination to really segment out the customers that you're trying to identify. Once you've done that, there's a couple different things that you can do with them. So you can view them from the map view, you can view them in a list, you can save the filters to come back to them, you can export the information, and then you can create a pipeline from here as well. All of which really to make the install base actionable so you can go follow up with the customers that you will be targeting. So I'm going to take a quick look at the chat here to see if there's any questions that have come through. And it looks like I do have a couple of questions, and feel free to drop yours in the chat as well, if any should come up. So the first question I've got here is, how can I use Entytle Analytics within the install base filter? So that's a great question. So there's a number of different analytics that can be applied as you're using the install base filters. And these are really to kind of help you drill into the customers, maybe to either prioritize customers based on how likely they are to spend, or maybe retarget customers or look at kind of your top customers. So there's two different filters that you can use here. One is the propensity to buy. And what this does is look at the likelihood of a customer to purchase. So there's a high, medium, and low. So this looks at their previous purchase patterns, how often they're buying, the consistency of those patterns to indicate if it's a customer, if you reach out to them, they're going to be likely to purchase from you. So this can be used as you're creating the other filters. So if you're looking for, customers that you want to reach out to about part sales or maybe equipment upgrades, maybe the best place to start is with those customers who are most likely to buy. So you can come in here, add the propensity filter as high and medium, and that's going to segment the customers for all of those that fall within those buckets. The other item that we have in here is the activity index. So this looks at your customer base and cohorts them based on similar customers to track. Are they spending a lot with you in terms of aftermarket and the equipment they own compared to their peers? Or are they, not spending much with you, and there's a lot of opportunity to sell them additional parts and services based on the different categories here. So one of the things that you can do is filter for your needs attention customers and target your install base based on those customers who really aren't having a high wallet share with you, and there's significant opportunity to sell them additional parts, services, whatever that is. So you can target them based on that. And again, layer this in with the other filtering that you're doing as well. All right. So the next question that I see come in here, can I filter by just my territory as I'm creating those? And yes, you can target customers based on just your specific territory. If you want to be more specific on the customers that you're looking at. So there is a territory filter here, and this will be set up based on your territories. If you don't have those created, you can reach out to your customer success manager and they can help get these territories created. So this can be a starting point for the segmentation that you're doing. So you can start with your territory and then now apply the filters that we went through, or whatever filters you need to be able to segment those customers out, and then they'll all be within your territory. All right, got another good question here. So someone asked, I'm traveling to Chicago. Can I look for customers nearby that I should visit? So yes, you can use the map filter here to see the customers who are in a location where you might be traveling to, and you want to see if there's customers nearby. So what you can do is zoom in here to the area that you want to look at. So if you're going to the Chicago area, you can come in here and look at the broader Chicago area, and then you can use this button here, set map filter. And what that's going to do is capture all of the customers that are within this area of the map. And then you can apply your filters to this. So if you want to look for, using the analytics here, your top customers who are the healthy ones, or if you want to look for customers who need attention, you can add in those filters here, and that will show you the customers within the Chicago area that match that filtering. You can also look for customers with open opportunities by using the filter for open opportunities. If you want to see where, there's a lot to talk to a customer about, you can do that here within the filtering as well. All right. See, one more question here around downloading the install base information regarding the sizes of those. So our customers from a data governance standpoint set up the limit of how much data can be downloaded as well as what data can be downloaded. So there's two different options. One is a direct download onto your PC. The second is email download, which is able to contain a lot more data. So if you have customers who make either hundreds or thousands of parts transactions or equipment orders, you'll want to talk with your customer success manager about getting the email downloads set up so that you can get higher sizes of files so that you can have all of the customer install base information. The other thing that you can do if it's a larger file size and you need that information, you can also reach out via our chat support channel, and our team can extract the information that you need if your organization allows that, and then we can share that with you securely as well. The last thing that I'll add for that is that on our roadmap is increasing the file size of downloads to our users who enable it to be able to get more information, as I know a lot of folks like to manipulate that data inside of Excel or other systems. So that will be coming in future releases as well. So there's a couple different options for downloads. I just recommend talking to our support channel in the Talk to Us button, as well as reaching out directly to your customer success manager. And just to reiterate that, there is the chat functionality down here in the right-hand corner. We also do have a help section up here on the right. And then, of course, you can email us at entytle.com to assist with any questions. That's a wrap on our first installment of the Entytle training webinar. Hopefully this has been helpful in understanding how you can really target customers within your install base. If you have any questions, any recommendations you'd like to see for future sessions, please go ahead and submit those to me via email. Thank you.